Welcome back, troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Due to popular demand, after I reviewed that other Esquire, people said, hey, check out the Brad Paisley, because I think there's something super special and hidden within this guitar. And right you guys are. I did not realize how crazy the specs of these Brad Paisley Teles were. So we're going to check out his newest edition, the Esquire. But if you happen to have missed it, I think it was about 2017-ish, they actually had released a different one that was a Silver Sparkle finish. And to be honest, I mean, that one didn't do too much for me because, you know, it was a little bit too in your face. But this new one, I think it more so appeals to me because it's got that darker finish and it has, you know, something a little bit special that the other one didn't. Because remember, his other one was actually a traditional Telecaster, whereas this bad boy is an Esquire, meaning we're only going to have one bridge pickup. It looks like straight out of the box, you get your basic case candy Fender sticker. Do we have a nitro finish on this one? I'm not sure. Sometimes they give that to you when it doesn't have it. But these are Mexican-made Teles at the store. They're $1,400. They come in gig bags. Might be a little bit expensive for some people, but Brad Paisley, huge country music star, so the premium makes sense as far as a brand new guitar goes anyways.
I do find it strange that these don't come with a case when the Jimmy Page Telecaster did at the same price, though.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this bad boy, because no use talking about it if we can't see it. So first thing I'm noticing, here on the headstock, it looks like we have his, like, signature look going after the Esquire. And this has that same thing that Jimmy Page Tele had, that road-worn vibe that they're talking about, where it has that finish checking directly in that. I'm so glad I ended up getting that Jimmy Page Tele, because now I realize, you know, that's not something unusual for Fender. Oh my, look at this. That's sparkly. You know, it almost has a little bit more of a blue appearance to it in person. I was expecting like the charcoal black because he was talking about diamonds and charcoal. I guess I can kind of see it now. So if you like blue, I think you would actually like this, even if you're not a fan of like the black finish. So not only do we have like the checked lacquer on the neck, I mean, you also have it on the fretboard. That actually, you know, it looks pretty good because it's not like razor blade or other techniques. It just seems to be built into it. It looks a little bit forced, but in conjunction with the light relicking that they've done along the edges of the body, you know, I think it's kind of cool. Really, really lightweight. Like, this is ridiculous. But what makes this particular Esquire so fantastic, it's not the aging, it's not, you know, the signature artist behind it, but this is actually a sandwich body. So they've got paulownia wood that's capped off with spruce. Spruce is something that you normally find on like the tops of acoustic guitars. So finding that on an electric, it's kind of interesting. And you can see that very familiar spruce wood grain. Now, if you were to sand away a little bit more on the back, you can kind of see that too. But the core of this is actually paulownia wood. Now, the first time I heard of paulownia, I believe it was within the Glary lineup or some other budget line level guitar. So, Paisley in his video, he was saying it's kind of like a really lightweight ash, but yeah, I feel it. This feels like it's made out of styrofoam. I mean, it's really lightweight, very comfortable, and he's got it spec'd out as a V-shaped neck. Now, it's not like super hard V or anything, but based on first impressions, yeah, it's kind of cool. If you like the whole Paisley pickguard, I mean, you can swap that off for a black one. But to be honest, with a finish like this, I think it kind of deserves something special. And I keep saying, you know, this thing has something interesting. We actually have a pickup hidden underneath the pickguard. So it still does the Esquire thing. Nobody has to know that you have a pickup in there. That pickup's been specially designed to not pull on the strings, so you still get that, you know, good Esquire bridge pickup tone. But instead of your regular Esquire layout, you now have, you know, a regular Telecaster layout, either your neck pickup, both of them, or just your bridge. So I'm kind of really interested to see how this thing sounds. But first, let's go ahead and throw this thing on the workbench and take an up-close look at its individual parts and specs, because obviously I want to see the sandwich inside the body, and I want to see that pickup, because it's got to be strange if it's hidden.
inside the new Brad Paisley Tele. Now, just in case you're curious about this whole design, back in the late 60s, Fender actually did make the Paisley Teles. It had nothing to do with Brad Paisley, but he kind of adopted that whole design because, you know, his last name. You can check out this video if you want to learn some more in-depth details there. But let's go ahead and dive into this thing. I was so curious what we would find under here, and I was a little bit underwhelmed when I first saw it. It's just like a regular pickup, except for it kind of has that Charlie Christian vibe going on to it. It just has that straight bar magnet right there. But it's branded Seymour Duncan, and it's kind of cool what they called this thing. It's the Seymour Duncan Custom Shop Brad Paisley Secret Agent. It's so secret, I can't figure out how to take it out. I think it's just mounted under pressure, like it just happens to perfectly fit in there, but I could be wrong. But I'm not seeing the regular screws that you use to take this out, and it's like so stuck I'm too scared to damage it. But here's what the backside of it looks like according to their website. So you can buy this yourself. It's $130 on Seymour Duncan's website. You can convert any Esquire to a regular Telecaster without affecting too much. In theory, I mean, we still have to test this thing, but most Esquires do have that little route here, and it's vintage in style, so you do adjust your truss rod down here. But hey, thankfully, we have that little cutout, so it's not a big pain in the butt. You just have to take off your pick guard. And speaking of your pick guard, here's what it looks like on the back. Kind of strange, but then you get this nice design on the front. It would be very simple and easy to replace it with like a plain black pick guard or a white one should you so wish to. And as far as our bridge pickup, it says something in here, something relic. I'm not sure what this is saying. But the routes themselves, they're kind of rough feeling. And I remember where Paulownia came from. It was a Dean, a budget level Dean. And here you can see the cross section. You see those rings right there? That is the Spruce top, and then that moves on to the Paulownia body. So it's a very thin top. It's not giant by any means. It's probably about the same thickness of an acoustic, to be honest. But again, you can see that wood grain right there. They've even sanded through some of that finish even too. And the back also has that same cap. It must have something to do with Paisley likes the look of Spruce exposed. That's the only reason why I can think why they would take the time to sandwich it, and that's probably why they went with Paulownia. So they're trying to make it super lightweight and beautiful at the same time. As far as the bridge pickup goes, they just call it the Paisley Spec bridge pickup. It's just kind of a vintage style pickup here. Looks like it has somebody's phone number on it. But this I found interesting. They just like wrapped it with a piece of string and then wax potted it. So maybe that's how they did it in the olden days. I don't know. I'm not like the biggest expert on Fender guitars. I just like checking out the new ones. That way I know nobody's parts castered them. And a nice little upgraded part here is the brass saddles. You can also see that they're compensated there, so that'll give us some nice sustain. And this is a string through styled instrument. You do not have the option for it to be a top loader like the Jimmy Page Teles. But let's just take a minute to really appreciate this finish. As I was saying earlier, the Silver Sparkle didn't do much for me. I felt it just kind of looked a little bit cheap, but you know, sometimes the garish things work well with the country music, as Brad was saying even in his videos. But this one, I can get behind this one. It's not so in your face, and it's got that little bluish tint to it. It works for me. As far as the rest of our electronics, nothing fancy here. I believe it's just wired up like any old Telecaster. You get 250K CTS pots, a little basic capacitor, and a standard 3-way toggle switch. Yeah, we've just got your standard Pilgrim hat knob with your flat top knurled knobs. They feel pretty nice. As far as the route, you can see a little barcode in there, and I don't think I could even sand away any finish even in here to see the bottom cap. So I think that's just, you're just gonna see the same thing on the other side somewhere on this thing. As far as our pickup readings, our Secret Agent is 10.4K ohms. That's kind of interesting. Is this about 5? Yeah, 4.3. And just your bridge, 7.15. Really interested in hearing this thing firsthand. Moving on from our Spruce Paulownia Spruce body, we get a straight up maple neck. Now, I was able to verify that everything on this guitar is nitro, and that includes the body. So in person, you know, it's really hard to see this, you know, like this, but there's also that finish cracking and crazing on this, but the sparkles kind of help hide it. But occasionally you'll hit it at the right angle and you'll go, oh yeah, that actually looks pretty okay. But we've got 21 medium jumbo frets on here, and they're utilizing a 9.5-inch radius, so that'll make a lot of people happy. And it's your standard 25.5-inch scale length. And, you know, I was kind of let down to see that they're using a synthetic bone nut. I mean, I feel like for $1,400 we should get the real deal. Either that or at least give us a case with these things, because this one is a little bit more expensive than his last one, because it was $12.25. And I think the whole upcharge here, they're trying to pass it off on the Seymour Duncan pickup right there. But, you know, the other one had a pickup up there too, so there should be a little bit of a cost savings, I think. But anyways, our neck spec's kind of a skinny nut, 1.63 inches, and then by the 12th fret it increases to about 2.1. First fret neck depth on our enhanced V neck shape is 0.93. And then up here by the 12th it increases, oh wow, 1. So it's a fairly consistent neck, and it's not like a hard V. It's still rounded on the back. It's not super pointy, but you can definitely tell it's not like your regular neck profile. So the whole theory behind a V-shaped neck is your hand, you know, it makes a V shape. So naturally you want something to fit that. They're not for everybody, but they're for Paisley. As far as the headstock goes, you get the vintage style button tuners. You poke it down, you wrap it around, and it reads Fender Esquire with his little logo there. As far as QC goes, I found about 4 over-tightened screws. This one, I think this one, and there's one on the side here. And just in case you've purchased one of these and you have the same issue I have, there was a mysterious rattle on this guitar when you would shake it. What it ended up being is this output jack outer dome wasn't screwed down all the way, so it was like the washers flipping back and forth between that empty space. So after tightening that up, it definitely does not have that sound anymore. But here you can see the edges of the guitar. You can see how they've kind of aged it as well. Thankfully, they've aged it just enough that you can just barely see where that spruce cap ends. But I'll try to catch this at an angle that you can also see the finish checking. It's really difficult to catch that on camera, but in person, you know, you can just barely see it in like the reflection of the light. So kind of a cool little relic job. I mean, heck, they even went as far as aging your little ferrules for the string through design over here. So strap button down here, as well as up here, your normal locations. 4 bolt-on neck, nothing fancy going on here. Nice tinted lacquer, and again, this kind of has that natural finish checking going on as well. And you can really see that V-neck profile shape just looking at it right here. Just kind of like a hump in the middle of the neck. Makes it look a lot beefier than it really is. But the serial number for this model is located on the back side of the headstock. This is a 2020 model made in Mexico, and you get your vintage style tuners. Now the big question that everybody probably wants to know, I'm saying it's really lightweight. Well, how lightweight is lightweight? 27 pounds, 2 ounces. Nah, just kidding, that's kilograms. We get, wow, under 6 pounds, 5 pounds, 15.3. But is that going to make it neck heavy? Let's find all that out and more next when we get to the playing demo. Okay, so this guitar, it's a little bit neck heavy. So you might want to find one that's just a hair heavier than mine, but it's not like so bad that you're gonna hate it. Like, it doesn't want to sit perfectly perpendicular with you. It just wants to kind of like rest right here, just slightly below where I normally like it, so it's really not an issue at all. But if you're sensitive to neck dive, I mean, you could also add like a weight, get a more gripping strap. It's not too bad though, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, it's got that nice Tele bite to it. That. Let's move over to this Secret Agent pickup. First thing I noticed right away, it's way quieter than the bridge pickup. I think if you were going to use this on stage and reliably switch between the two, you'd probably want to lower this bridge pickup, but then you're going to lose some of your spank. So that's definitely a trade-off for it being hidden underneath the pickguard. Let's go ahead and give it a shot though. kind of nice though, having the option, I guess. But if you need to switch from country to jazz real quick, just roll your tone down. That sounds pretty good. We got an idea between these two pickups. But now, how do they sound combined? So here's our bridge pickup. Now combined. It just kind of mellows it out a bit. Let's give this a go. Oh, wow. Yeah, that definitely works. I would definitely suggest lowering your bridge pickup. I mean, you lose a little bit of bite. But this guitar kind of has that in spades anyways. That is much more well balanced, and that middle position now actually sounds very distinctive. Very nice. I mean, as you can see, it's like all the way flat, but that works very well with this whole setup. Unless you like those other tones, I mean, that's what's kind of unique about this, is you can set it up to, you know, just be Esquire-like, and if you just happen to need to go there, you just have it a little bit quieter, you might need to turn up the volume on your amp or something, or you can level them out and kind of get like a regular Tele sound. Let's try a little bit of distortion now. I'd say this guitar sounds great. This neck pickup just, you know, came to life once everything was just, you know, balanced out. Now that we know all about the Brad Paisley Secret Agent Esquire, what are my final thoughts on this thing? It's a little bit expensive for what it is. I mean, $1,400 can buy you a lot on the used market as well as on the new market. However, you know, if you're looking for something a little bit different, you like paying for Brad Paisley's name on the guitar, you like paying for the Fender premium, I think you're gonna like it. However, I mean, you could probably easily build a parts caster for a lot cheaper, but, you know, it's got enough interesting going on with it that I think it's worth buying. You know, the Secret Agent pickup already installed, you don't have to worry about modifying your guitar. The Paulownia body, kind of interesting, very lightweight, but I like the spruce caps. That makes this thing interesting enough that it would be difficult to, you know, find a parts caster body just like that. So if you're looking for a lightweight production model guitar that's got some aging to it, stock from the factory, it's kind of cool in that aspect, but I don't think everybody needs to rush out and buy one of these. The tones were fantastic. I was very happy with that. I don't think I would even want to even consider replacing any of the pickups on this thing. However, I will note this guitar feels a little bit stiff to play. Now, the more and more I've been playing it, maybe it just needs, you know, kind of worked in a little bit. It's starting to come to life, but it does feel kind of stiff to play for bends, which is kind of unfortunate for country style playing because you're bending and doing all that stuff all the time. But for chords and just, you know, chicken picking and stuff like that, it'd be great. But that's just a comment on this particular example. They're all different. So troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this new Brad Paisley Telecaster with me. And if you were interested in it, now hopefully you have a little bit more information so you can make an informed purchase. As always, if you enjoy my videos, you can use my affiliate links in the description to help support your channel on your next reverb purchase or a brand new guitar through Sweetwater's website. Alright troglodytes, thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.